You're going to hear now, so you hear me?
Yeah.
There you go. Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Tyngsborough TV Live. This is our Tyngsborough Tuesday segment where we feature, well, anybody and everybody from the town of Tyngsborough. So if you own a business or if you're a community member that does something kind of cool and you want to tell us about it, this is your opportunity on this particular program. I am Town Media Director Steve Brogan, and I run the PEG Access stuff here, but I also do this show. If you want to watch this broadcast, you can check this out on the multitude of different places that we share this to. So on Facebook, we put it out on a bunch of different pages there, so you can check it out. You can also chime in and ask questions, and talk to our guests and me and ask questions there if you want to. You can do the same thing over on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. You can also watch us at Comcast 8, Verizon 29, and at tyngsboroughma.gov on our live video on demand and streaming service. So lots of different ways you can watch, lots of different ways you can interact, and some other new things to come soon, but I'll talk about those another time. So I want to introduce my guest very quickly. She tells me that she's very nervous. She really doesn't want me to point the camera at her, but it's going to happen. So my guest is Beth Singleton Craig.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm very good. So you are a school teacher.
I am a school teacher.
Yeah.
I teach at the middle school,
Okay.
Tyngsborough Middle School. This is my second year at a new position.
Okay.
I'm a special ed teacher at a sub-separate classroom.
Okay, excellent. And now the main reason why you're here is not because you're a school teacher, but because you run in the Boston Marathon.
I have run in, this will be my third finish. I like to say finish. Run is a strong word.
Okay.
It's not a lot. Sometimes there's not running happening, but yes, and this is my second year running for the Hoyt Foundation.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about why you decided to get into running in marathons, or what was that initial like aha moment where you went, I want to run in a marathon?
I'm actually not even sure. It must have been a moment where I wasn't thinking properly. I am a part of the Greater Lowell Road Runners, and
Okay.
every year you sort of apply for a bib,
Okay.
and you write down why. And I had been running with my mom, and I just thought, oh, why not? When you hang around the Hoyts, they think, yes, you can, about pretty much anything. So that's sort of our attitude now. And so that was my first year running, and it was a little ugly, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But
Did you finish?
I did finish. I'm always going to finish, just so you know. That's always something that's going to happen. I might be crawling over.
So you have the drive, you have that.
I do have. I'm not. Is it a drive or just stubborn?
Stubborn.
A little bit of
maybe
nuts. A little
a
crazy.
touch crazy. Yeah.
A
There you
little
go.
bit. A
Yeah.
little bit.
Okay.
So that was my first experience. And then, of course, you leave there going, never let me do that again. And then a couple of weeks go by and you're like, And then when Dick Hoyt calls you and asks you if you want to run on their charity team, you certainly can't say no to that.
Right, yeah, that's really cool.
Cannot say no, so.
So how did you got connected by just a phone call? Did they know you, or did somebody refer you to the Hoyt family?
So I had a friend who was doing triathlons, and they were participating in the Mill Cities on the Merrimack River.
Okay.
So I went down to watch her, and I saw this boat on the shore, and I thought, oh my gosh, is that because people drown while they're attempting these triathlons? And so on my way out, I saw this sort of bike equipment type thing biking away, and it was Dick and Rick. And I immediately went home and just started Googling, how can I do this with my mother? And that's how it all started.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't do your first marathon with your mom, you said? Or
I did not. I've done two marathons
Two
with
with
my
her.
mom.
Okay.
I took her down to D.C. and we did the Marine Corps.
Oh, wow, cool.
And
that must have
then
been fun.
we did the Bay State Marathon in Lowell.
Okay. And tell me about I guess just a little bit about the Hoyt Foundation. What exactly is the charity for?
So we all raise money for the Hoyts to give money back to a lot of different organizations.
Okay.
Easter Seals, Boston Children's Hospital, anything that would allow opportunities for those who don't normally have the same opportunities as you and I. Provides them a chance to participate in many different things.
Mm-hmm. And you said it's a nationwide organization, right? So
it's actually international.
Oh, wow.
There's a Team Hoyt Canada, but we go from Massachusetts out to San Diego and Canada and Ireland, I think. Don't quote me on that.
All right. So how does the or in what way does the Hoyt Foundation support the runners themselves?
We actually there's no we all do it out of the kindness of our heart, honestly. So
well, I mean, like as far as equipment, or you mentioned the bike.
So there's one person in particular. He owns a family business down in Southbridge called Southbridge Tool and Manufacturing.
Okay.
He makes all the Hoyt racing chairs for us. So you can crowd rise for one, or you can just pay outright for it. And that's what I did. My family helped us get. At first we had this jogger, and then we upgraded to the racing chair, where I can now pull the front tire off and attach it to my bike. So now we run races, and we also do triathlons. I just took her on the MS Cape Cod bike ride. She has MS, so that was important for us to be a part of. Okay,
very cool. So do you how do you prepare for a marathon? I mean, you just, like you run in 26.2 miles. I can barely run like a mile. Well, I can run a mile, but a kid. But anything more than that, forget about it. It's definitely going to be taking a lot. I might as well get in a car and go there. How do you prepare for something like this?
So there are so many run programs for a marathon. You can do a novice, intermediate, wherever you are at. And it usually consists of cross training and some shorter runs during the week. And then usually on a Saturday or a Sunday, you're hitting your longer mileage. And then you just wing and prayer it that day, because anything could happen on race day. Yeah. You know what I mean? I've been around with so many runners, and one quote in particular, one of my runner friends, some runs are like that. So you could prepare, and you could get at the race, and you can't control so many different things.
Well, weather, I'm sure, is a big one. Yeah.
Last year, thank goodness, I was actually hurt, or I would have been out on the course last year, and it was a monsoon.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was awful.
My wife and I watched a little bit of it. Oddly enough, we watched one of the first times we had started watching the marathon, because neither of us she's a runner. I'm not really, obviously not a runner. I don't have a runner's body, that's for sure.
Actually, there is no such thing. I have seen all shapes and sizes do amazing things.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, not doubt that I could, I guess, but I'm not giving myself
you can.
to. But oddly enough, we happened to start watching the first. Watching together the marathon when the year the bombing happened, and we're watching this and the whole thing's unfolding, and what's going on, kind of thing. But you told me an interesting story about the Hoyt family and how they were running. They were running in that same year. What happened with them?
So Dick tells this amazing story, and forgive me, I'm going to paraphrase. Obviously, they were running and they got stopped before the finish, and Dick will really speak to the people that gathered around him to help him. Getting a little choked up. Strangers, because they knew they had to get Rick. You know, he's not easily moved. He's in a racing chair.
Right,
and so, you know, some Jeep pulled up, I think, and escorted them back to their hotel. And so that was going to officially be sort of Dick's last marathon running with Rick. They do have someone else who's the legs behind him.
Okay.
And so, of course, they didn't finish. So Dick and Rick are stubborn, or whatever you want to call us, driven. So they did come back the year after so they could complete the marathon.
Okay. Yeah, that was kind of they had to rearrange things, obviously, to make things work.
Right.
But, luckily, they weren't at that.
Right.
You know, where things happened, fortunately. But unfortunately,
thankfully.
a number of people were.
For sure.
Yeah, that was a heck of a thing. Did that incident? I mean, clearly, that didn't deter you from wanting to run in marathons.
It doesn't deter you, but it definitely makes you think about things now when you're out there. Any big event, actually. It's not even a running event. You know, when you see those big construction vehicles blocking roads and they're putting up Jersey barriers now just so everyone, you know, they're taking those extra precautions so people can feel safe and enjoy whatever it is they're doing. But you definitely think about things now. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. It is the way it is. Or it is what it is, rather. Tell me a little bit on an upbeat note. Tell me a little bit about running with your mom and that whole, because she's 75, you said, right?
She'll be 75 in May.
I won't reveal your age, but she's 75. She's 34, by the way. How I mean, you're pushing, so you're not just running yourself, you're pushing your 75-year-old mom along with you in a chair.
Right.
I mean, it's probably nice because you have something to lean on, but
yeah, for sure. It's definitely different running cadence and style. Yeah. I do have a hard time running without her because
really?
I've sort of, not that I had a style, but I've sort of don't really know what to do with my arms, or, you know, I'm leaning a little different. So I prefer to run with her. I mean, it's just been this most fantastic journey that we've both really, really enjoyed. And this will be our 6th year running together.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine she enjoys it, right?
She's having a ball.
Yeah.
And it was literally one of these moments where, like I said, the Hoyt running chair people, I found them, I called them. They said, yes, you can borrow a jogger. I drove down with my kids, picked it up, walked into my mother's. She lives at a nursing facility, and I said, get in. Here we go. And so she hopped in, and we've been running ever since.
Very cool.
Yeah, she loves it, and I love it too. So we're having a good time.
I mean, does she really have a choice, though? You're kind of dragging her along.
Actually, she doesn't say no. I mean, I
kid.
I have some running friends that put some crazy ideas into my head, and myself included, but she never says no. So we're a bad combination.
Okay. Now, does she care for, or does she get irritated when it's like the weather's lousy and it's, you know, raining or cold? Or
in the winter, she does hibernate.
Yeah.
For example, we usually run the turkey Thanksgiving trot down in Lowell, but it was so chilly. She said no, thank you. So me and my other 2 crazy friends, you know, did the route together. But if it's raining, or, you know, some of these, you know, what people don't think about is, you know, we have these athletes that they're doing these amazing things, but they are still fragile, you know, so it takes a lot. You know, I'm still packing everything in the kitchen sink when I'm taking my mom, whether it's an hour away or, you know, I took her to Virginia Beach and you're packing up a van. You know, there's a little bit more involved for medical needs or physical needs, or, you know, you're packing extra things that maybe you or I wouldn't need if we were on a run.
Similar to like if you have young children and you have to pack the snacks and the extra clothes and the, you know, all those fun things. Yeah.
Right. And then some of our athletes, they do have some physical needs that, you know, not everything is hunky-dory after the race is over, or, you know, you have some things that you have to tend to during a race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, but it all works out. They're so happy to be out there, and Dick and Rick have just provided this opportunity for all of us to have a good time.
How does it work when you're running a marathon? And I have no, when it comes to the technicalities
doesn't work,
of marathons,
actually.
When you run a marathon, like, do they mix the chairs in with all the other people on foot? Or are you in like your own separate group? How does that work when you
So I think there is a change this year, but don't quote me on that.
Okay.
Normally they send off the duos. They call them duos, like any kind of wheelchair or push chair or rim chair push, whatever they call.
Okay.
They usually head off first, but I think they're actually going to start behind the elites this year. I'm not sure why. So usually even in our 5Ks or 10Ks, they will give us maybe a 5-minute head start to get out there. And then we will, as runners tend to be, some are faster, some are slower. So we tend to spread out a little bit. So when the other runners come by, we're not a big clump somewhere, just for safety reasons.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Clearly you enjoy this. I mean, it's something that you have fun with. I give you credit because quite honestly, I couldn't run a marathon. It's not happening. A couple miles maybe, but unless I'm like running away from something or to food, maybe.
For sure. For sure. Big, large animal.
Right, exactly. Bears chasing me. Time to go. Let's run that marathon. Now, how about you? How do you keep in shape, I guess, from that? Because it's not, 26 miles. It's not like it's a small, trivial thing. Do you just run, I think I kind of asked you this earlier, but do you run you must run a lot of other races, at least to stay conditioned, but do you have to work out and do any other physical activities to kind of keep your body ready for that kind of punishment, I guess?
So this year, I think because my mother and she'll be 75, I'm 50. I thought it would be a great idea if we tried to qualify for the Boston Marathon on our own. So I actually hired a running coach, and he has me working out with weights twice a week and running and biking actually, just to get the cardio up. And so when my mom is not available, I push the chair with a big punching bag in it, plus a 50-pound sandbag.
No, officer, that's really a baby in the chair.
So people I get a lot of looks on that. But
funny.
This weekend, Greta Lowell took us down to the course to practice. Even though I'm not running this Boston with her, I still run with the race chair. And I took my mom's race chair up the Newton Hills and up to the top of Heartbreak. So Sunday cool. I was a little fatigued, but I'm just so used to it now. And you just keep pushing, you just keep practicing. So, it's just great.
Yeah. All right. Linda Sunderland says hi.
Oh, yes.
This is from
Linda.
Your favorite banker.
Yes, of course. Hello.
Very funny. Do you always run on roads, or do you do any off-road stuff too?
So, last year we got these big fat tires, so now we can go on trail runs. Or anything that's muddy or gravelly.
Okay.
I'm hoping that maybe they'll work on the beach, but I know there's other chairs for that.
Yeah.
So we'll just pack the fat tires when we know it's not completely paved. We actually, last summer, we took my mom to the top of Mount Washington, and we used the fat tires because part of the trail going up was a little gravelly and rocky, and I didn't want the bike tires to pop.
Right, yeah.
And then you had to change your tires, so.
What's been your favorite location to run at so far?
Falmouth Road Race.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's the most amazing race, and the crowd is, it's 7 miles of torturous bliss.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like all uphill, or what's the track like?
So the first 3 miles are rolling, and if you ask a runner, that's their nice way of saying it's hilly. Okay. Like rolling hills. That's how they trick you.
Okay. It's lovely.
That means
rolling
hilly,
hills,
just so you know.
I was gonna hate life after you for that one.
And then you sort of pop out of this neighborhood area, and you're sort of on the beach and stuff, so it tends to be flat. But then at the end, there's the most obnoxious hill up to the peak of it, and then you come down to the finish. But the crowds are amazing, and it's through the whole course, and people are cheering you on, and it's so fun.
Very cool.
So,
now, you've run the Boston Marathon course before?
I have run the Boston Marathon course before.
And I mean, I've heard a lot.
I finished. Let me rephrase
you hear
that.
A lot, right? You hear a lot about it though, like Heartbreak Hill, and there's all these different pieces that runners have their they love-hate relationship with these certain sections. How about you? Do you have any specific areas you dread when you get to them?
Well, I will tell you, on Saturday I did dread the Newton Wellesley area because I took my mom's blade and I stayed on the opposite side of the road because there was a lot of runners and the snow was high, so I didn't want to take up that sidewalk on them because then I was sort of in their way. So on the other side of the road, I was coming to where the highways come off onto the route, and when I got to the end of the sidewalk, it wasn't plowed.
Oh.
So I had the fat tire, so I thought, I'll just push my way through the snowbank. So I tipped.
Sounds like it didn't go well.
No. So my mom's race chair tipped.
Oh, no.
into the off ramp.
She wasn't in it though, right?
She was not in it. And then the weight bag actually rolled out of the race chair into the off ramp. So now I'm trying to pick up, the running chair and then trying to get the bag back into the race chair and then still get through the snow because now I'm stuck and the cars are coming off the highway.
Oh my goodness,
and
yeah.
I was just a maniac. I couldn't.
I
And then
guess so.
I hit a truck. I was on the sidewalk and I overshot it and this truck was turning and I hit the truck. It was totally my fault.
Oh,
And
no.
everyone is like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "It wasn't my fault."
Oh my goodness.
So I probably should be supervised at
So
most times of my life.
there
but-
are some perils and pitfalls to running and even just practicing for a run.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Luckily, my mom wasn't in it on Saturday.
That's a good thing. Yeah. Do they have
Yeah.
seatbelts in those things?
There
or-
is a seatbelt,
Okay, good.
so
All
I
right.
probably would have belted her in, but I probably wouldn't have tried to push through the snowbank if she was in it. But
Okay. So tell me a little bit. You did a fundraiser not too long ago, a couple months ago. This is when we first started talking,
For
when I found out
sure.
about this fundraiser. Tell me about the fundraiser event.
So every year when you run for the Hoyt Foundation or any charity, Beb, you have to raise X amount of dollars for the charity, and it's probably the most stressful part. It's not even the running the marathon because you want to make sure you're, participating and raising enough money for the bib and getting it to this great cause and all the things that the Hoyt Foundation does for people. So I decided to have this pancake breakfast. I can't cook pancakes,
No,
so
come on. You can't.
I mean,
Well, what about your
I
mom?
could probably
She could
cook
probably make it.
3, but I can't cook 300, So my friends were like, I'll help. And so we got the Sportsman's Club and so many great friends. And then Bob Athis volunteered to do all the pancakes. And then my friends were just coming out of the woodwork, making a raffle and being, wait staff. And my friend did face painting. And so it turned out to be this great day. So many people came. Dick Hoyt ended up coming up, and it was so great for him to see, like, the town just embraced him. And so it was so successful. I raised $4,000, and so I met my bib quota.
Wow.
But I'm always, you always want to make sure that you donate and keep donating to a great cause just because
Right,
they do
yeah.
so much. But I'm still getting people donating to my crowd race. So it was just the best day. It was a really
Cool,
great
yeah.
day. Yeah.
Is there a fee for the actual bib itself, like to get into the marathon?
Yeah. Somebody sets the bib fee. Don't quote me on this. I think it's John Hancock because they sponsor the bibs.
Okay, right. I've seen that on all the bibs for the last bunch of years.
Yeah. And our bib is $6,500
Wow.
for charity. Yeah.
Wow, really? So you have to raise $6,500.
I have to raise $6,500 and then run the marathon.
Jeez Louise, wow. Okay, so you're running like crazy just for money and for...
For sure. But so many people support and have embraced my mother and I. Do you know what I mean? I feel so lucky. I really do.
You're making me want to try to run a
Gotta
race.
do it.
I'm telling
do
you,
it.
if they put a bear at the end
Yeah.
behind me, I'd
Well,
have no problem.
How about a beer? Maybe a beer.
No, I mean, like when we start, you're going to be right behind us. The bear's, But a
Right.
beer might be not a bad idea
Yeah,
either. I don't know if I'd
yeah.
run hard enough for a beer. Though. That might be a problem. Okay.
No, you'll have to come out with us because I think when you just get around the right crowd, you'll be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and you'll want to,
I'm sure it's fun.
be a
yeah.
part of it over and over again.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people that definitely get into it, and I mean, to me, running is takes a special kind of person to be able to I'm telling you, my wife and I've watched a few of these now, and it's just, I'm tired watching them. I mean,
Right.
it's no kid. I'm not terribly out of shape. I kid, but it's not easy. That
And
looks like
those elite runners, oof, they are machines.
they
you
really
know?
are. I mean, and they can just it's always those that lead like 20 people. You see them and they're just pure muscle but lean. You know what I mean? And they can like the wind. They're like the Usain Bolts and the
Right.
those guys. They can run super fast, but they can do it for
So amazing.
26 miles.
Yeah, and their pace, their pace is so fast and for such a long, I'm just getting started and they're finished. You know what I mean?
Do you find that in a race you're trying to like get ahead of the guy next to you, the person next to you? And that would be me. Like, oh my God, I need to get ahead, try to run. And then you end up running out your energy. And,
Right, it does happen. So I'm a little competitive.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes just to pace myself, like, oh, I want to finish a little bit better, so I'm going to try to get in front of that guy. And then you get in front of that guy maybe, and then you're like, okay, maybe I'm going to try to get in front of that person too, you know? So sometimes when I get too competitive, my mom's like,
she puts the kibosh on you. Yeah.
Pull yourself together.
Let me quickly reset here. So just so folks are knowing, we're talking to Beth Singleton Craig. She's talking about her marathon running, which is coming up in this next marathon. What is the date anyway?
April 15th.
April 15th. Okay. Right. Tax day.
Yeah.
And so you're running for Team Hoyt. So we're having a conversation about that. It's been pretty fun actually. We've had a good time. If you want to watch this broadcast, you can watch it a whole bunch of different places: Facebook, YouTube, tyngsboroughma.gov, and on our live video on demand and streaming, and at Comcast 8, Verizon 29 here in the town of Tyngsborough. And if you have any questions for me, questions for the guests, feel free to chime in on Facebook or YouTube, or you can send me an email, sbrogan@tyngsboroughma.gov, and I'll be happy to try to find an answer for wherever the question is. I actually have a lot of questions about potholes and all kinds of other stuff.
I bet.
They're bad. They're brutal this year. But that's not the conversation for right now. We're going to talk about the marathon and what Beth is doing. Very cool, though, that you run for your mom, or with your mom, excuse me, and you're running for Team Hoyt. So I think that's pretty neat. I guess give me just a little bit more information on the Hoyt family. Like, so they basically, who is Dick Hoyt? Like, why do people know him? What has he done? So I guess is what I'm getting at.
So it's all Rick's fault, actually, his son Rick.
Yep.
So Rick was born with cerebral palsy.
Okay.
And Dick will tell the story that, back then they would say, just put him away. Do you know what I mean? He's going to be a vegetable and whatnot.
Yeah,
and
unfortunately,
so
that's the way they treated it back then.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
they didn't know what else to do.
Right. And Dick and his wife were just, no, we're going to take him home and we're going to raise him. And they have 2 other boys. And Rick was in school, and I think he was like the gym teacher maybe, or the basketball coach.
Oh, okay.
Kind of took Rick under his wing, and they were going to this basketball game, and they were having sort of a fundraiser. They were advertising a fundraiser for a boy who got hurt playing lacrosse. So Rick came home and said, hey, Dad, I want to help this guy out and let him know being hurt doesn't keep you out of life. And so they signed up for this 5-miler or something, and they only had his regular wheelchair. It wasn't anything sporty.
Oh, wow.
And
that must have been tough.
I know.
I can't even push those straight walking, much less.
Right. And Dick will tell the story. Like, he was not, I mean, he was in shape, but he was not a runner per se. And they participated in the race, and people thought maybe he was just going to go down to the end of the road and then just turn around, but they did the whole thing. And of course, Dick's big thing was he was not last. He's competitive too. Yeah. And that just started this amazing journey of race after race after race. And then they started to practice, and then along the way, people were inviting him to do other races, and they wanted him to get into triathlons, which Dick didn't know how to swim. So we bought a house near a lake, and he literally just jumped off the dock and tried to teach himself to swim. And now they're the first duo to complete Kona Ironman out in Hawaii.
Wow,
and I mean, they've biked across the country, and they've done so many amazing things just in the name of inclusion, honestly.
Interesting. Clearly very driven
family.
Yeah.
And it's Rick. I mean, Rick, he doesn't say no, these athletes.
Boy. Your cousin, I think, Carrie Singleton Branch. She says hi.
Yes, that's my cousin.
She's way to go.
Hello.
What else do you want to tell me about them? What? So I asked you what drives you, basically. We talked about that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know, what else is there other than, so you get to spend time with your mom, right?
I do, which is great.
Doing the races.
At a young age, she was 38. She had early onset MS. So, I was 15. So at a young age, you kind of have a little crisis in the family, let's say. And she was really busy trying to feel better and try to manage her life. And so, we've sort of found a new way to hang out together and have a good time. And so many people just love to, so the big thing about my mom, so many people just love to tell me about her smile. So I'm running behind her, so I have no idea. I'm constantly,
you can't see her face, right?
How are you? You okay? I'm looking around. And then when I get to put the pictures together, that's when I can see just how happy she is. And I'm so happy to be with her. And we've found a way for her to get out and for me to, participate with her in all of these events. And the Team Hoyt and Dick and Rick and the whole Hoyt family, they just embrace her and gush all over her. We just had an appreciation banquet for all of our athletes.
Oh, cool.
So it's like their sports banquet. So they come out and we call them up for different, they've earned different points for how many races they got to and what they participated in, and just the smiles, that are filling the room. It's just, it's heartwarming, and they're all ages and sizes and different differabilities, whatever you want to call it. And so it's just nice for us to give them a little bit of hope and happiness.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That is awesome. That sounds really cool. Very nice cause. I like it. I like it a lot. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I do that to people.
That's okay.
I apologize.
It happens to me sometimes. We'll get through a show. Let me quickly mention real fast before we start to wrap up. If anybody wants to be part of this segment, so this is the Tyngsborough Tuesday segment. If you have a business in town, or if you're a resident in town you have some cool project that you're doing or something like that, and you want to let people know about it, give me a ring, or send me an email anyways, sbrogan@tyngsboroughma.gov, and I'd like to schedule some time with you to talk to you about your business or project or whatever the case may be, whatever the fundraiser is or whatever. Always happy to chat about that, and you can come on for one of our Tuesday segments and we can chat, have a good time, and have a laugh or two.
It's not too bad here. It's not too bad.
Yeah, right. See, seriously.
The microphone's a little close.
It's a little close, but it has to be. That's how they work. So, do you have any other fundraisers coming up?
This is just it for now. This is our big one.
Okay.
A few times in the past, we have done races or tried to fundraise to give joggers and chairs to others.
Okay.
But this is the big one right now.
Okay. Very cool.
But stay tuned.
You do a couple a year, depending on the race, or
usually for the Hoyt Foundation.
Okay.
It's hard, like I said, when Dick calls you and asks you to be on the charity team. You don't say no.
Right.
So as long as they continue to ask, I'll probably continue to say yes. So I'll meet you here at the same time next year.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
Maybe next year you can make the pancake breakfast. So
oh yeah, right.
I won't have to stalk you afterwards and try to get on your show. It was your son's first birthday party.
That's right. We were
so
having a little
important.
Birthday at my house. Yeah. It's funny because that was the day. So there was a snowstorm right around that same time.
The next day.
We had the party that next day. We were prepping for it the night before. We canceled what we were going to do, and then
it happens. We lucked out for sure. We had a really big crowd, and I just can't thank everybody. I mostly wanted to come on here just to thank so many people who donated and came and helped out, and it was just unbelievable.
Excellent.
Honestly.
Excellent. Well, it's nice to see that the community, and I'm sure others outside the community, are helping with this project.
Yeah.
Clearly, the Hoyt Foundation does a lot of great work, so that's nice to see. It's always good to see these charities do well, because they, there's the bad apple in there every now and again, but they generally all do really good work.
For sure.
Really, really good work, and they obviously goes to a good cause, and it's something that there's no money coming in from any other avenues sometimes. So it's nice to see these charities really do well and do what they do. I guess any final parting thoughts for us before we wrap up?
Just that you're included in anything that we do next.
Nice,
so
thank you. Yeah,
I'm going to start to invite you to every single race we go to.
Boy. Great. I'm not running.
Yes, you can.
Right. Put a bear at the start line, and maybe you'll see me run away.
I'm sure we might have somebody who can help out with that.
The most I did was the Memorial Day parade. I have to run up and down that parade 2 or 3 times, because I'm trying to get pictures of everything, and I mean, you can't be at the beginning and at the end at the same time.
Right.
So, it's kind of funny. People see me running up and down that thing a couple times each way. That's always fun. Anyways, we're having a kind of just a good laugh and a hoot here. This has been fun. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Sure, anytime. Let me know next time you want to come on when you're going to do your next fundraiser. We can bring you on again.
That would be great. I appreciate that.
And so you're going to send us some pictures, maybe.
For sure.
From the marathon when you're down there.
For sure. Yeah.
When you do this marathon, I want some good pictures from the marathon,
and
then I'll share those with you
So
guys.
don't tell the BAA. I think this year I'm going to try to sneak in my selfie stick, so maybe I can do some videos on my way to the finish line.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yes, that would be
If
very
I knew
awesome.
how to stream live, you'll have to teach me some lessons before.
You can do that on your phone, yeah.
I mean,
sure.
You could probably do that on your
simple.
phone, but
you could do it.
I'll try to figure it out.
You could manage it. You're not technically inept, I'm sure.
Well, you don't know me.
That's okay. I will help you, whatever you need. So this was our Tyngsborough Tuesday segment. My guest, excuse me, I'm having so much fun, I'm getting tongue twisted. My guest is Beth Singleton Craig. She's running in this year's Boston Marathon, and you've run in a number of other big road races, and you run with your mom, which is a very cool part of Team Hoyt. So great foundation. She will be posting, I'm sure, plenty of stuff as events come up. And opportunities arise for folks to donate to that project. So let me know, and then I'll probably see them, but I'll share them out for you too as well, so people can see that stuff. If you're a business in town or you're a resident in town that does something cool and you'd like to come on and talk about it, then send me an email, sbrogan@tyngsboroughma.gov, or you can send me a message through Facebook, however you'd like to. Keep losing my train of thought. Oh, there we go.
And I have that effect on people. I apologize.
No, it's okay. I was reading a comment on Facebook. My apologies.
One of those trolls.
No, actually, it was a good one. I'll tell you in a second.
Oh, boy.
So also, don't forget, if you want to watch this broadcast, there's a multitude of different ways you can check us out. So Facebook, we share it across a whole bunch of different town pages, group pages, and so on. You can watch and chime in, ask questions, or leave just funny comments, which is always fun, too. You can also watch on YouTube on our Tyngsborough MA page on YouTube. Great place to watch, by the way, because you can watch it full screen on your TV if you have an Apple TV or some type of a Roku device or other things.
You'll have to put that filter on.
Yes, we'll do the filter. You don't need a filter. And you can also watch us at Comcast 8, Verizon 29 on regular television here in town. And you can catch us at tyngsboroughma.gov on our live video on demand and streaming service, where you can also watch all of our past content of all the meetings and all that fun stuff that happens here in town. So you can keep up to date with what's going on in the government world of Tyngsborough stuff. So lots of ways you can keep track of what we're doing. I try to post as much stuff as we can. We put it on Instagram and some other places too sometimes as time allows. That said, folks, I hope you guys have a good day. Again, any questions, feel free to email me. And stay tuned for more fun stuff from Beth Craig. She will be happy to share some photos with us from the marathon this year. This year. So I'll be watching, rooting for you. Good luck. I wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And to everybody else, again, have a good day, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.